Well, you knew it would happen, right? After everything I told you last week, the FBI caught a guy flying his drone down by the riverwalk in restricted airspace. Stick around, I'll tell you what happened. It's hard to believe, but with all the publicity surrounding the TFRs, temporary flight restrictions, around Super Bowl weekend and the event itself, there was still a problem last week. On February the 3rd, two FBI agents spotted a drone flying around the Riverwalk area, which is a restricted zone. They finally tracked down the pilot and told him to land his aircraft, which he did. But here's where it gets interesting. This guy was a certificated Part 107 pilot, said he was aware of the TFRs down there, all the restrictions surrounding the event, and still flew. What he said was, brought his drone down, connected it. A warning came up in his app that gave him two options. One to certify that he had authorization to fly there, and the other to accept responsibility. So he chose the one to accept responsibility and took off. Well, that makes no sense. For those of you that have flown in warning areas or enhanced warning areas, that's not an option. You have to answer both those questions. Number one, you are authorized to be there, and number two, you accept responsibility for your actions in that area. Okay, what's his defense going to be there? He had no authorization to fly in that TFR restricted area. And that's something we got to think about too. I'm sure you've been in areas where you've come across those enhanced warning zones, and you self-certify. Not a big deal. But in a situation like this, where it was a restricted zone, and I'm sure as before you have told him he couldn't fly, if you remember that from last week, he's got no defense. And worse yet, he flew beyond visual line of sight, he flew over people and over moving vehicles, all of which are violations of Part 107. He violated national defense airspace and could get up to 1 year jail time. This was not a warning he got. Criminal charges have been filed against him, and here's a copy of the complaint. Now, as I sit here at home this Sunday morning of game day, I'm 21 miles from Raymond James Stadium, and I thought I'd go ahead and pull up my Before You Fly app and see what's going on. Here's what's going on this Sunday morning of the game. Okay, you can see we got red zones, but we've got yellow warnings, which means that is not in effect yet, but it's still cautionary for drone flight. So let's see what happens at game time. Okay, here we are at game time. Let's take a look at Before You Fly again. Well, you can see the restrictions are now all in effect now. Bright red's no-fly drone zones. So we're dead in the water, right? So what happens if we try to take off? Well, just for kicks, I thought I'd take my little Mavic 2 Pro out in the back on the patio and see if we can take off. So here we are, connected the Mavic to the controller. Doesn't give me a no-fly zone. Says I'm good to go. But that makes sense, because DJI would not have had time to update their FlySafe database and restrict us from taking off. So because I fly with that Before You Fly app, I know not to take off at this point. And that's it for Super Bowl week. I hope you're still enjoying these vlogs. I get a kick out of doing them and plan to continue doing them. If you like them, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. That way I can let you know of my upcoming vlogs, which of course occur every Tuesday. And if you feel like sharing with your friends, please do. That would be greatly appreciated. Now, there's no video this week, but if you've got videos you want to forward to me and have me include them in future episodes, please do, and I'll be happy to include them. And thank you for watching.